Hi all, Hipper here. So your first question is probably, have Hipper gone nuts comparing Skyrim to World of Warships Legends? And I can tell that no, I haven't. I actually always thought of the game this way. I'll try to explain it to you here, and it's not very complicated. I think most people agree with me on this. And I'm pretty sure even Wargaming agrees. So if you poke around inside some of the media stuff that's available for the game, you'll see that Wargaming actually refers to some of the commanders as thieves, barbarians, and healers and stuff like that, which is very roleplay game oriented. So in most roleplay games out there, you have like a multitude of ways to tailor your own game experience, basically. And there are just as many ways of doing it as there are roleplay games in the world. And I know World of Warships isn't exactly a role-playing game, but it does incorporate some of the tinkering and some of the classes and like some of the things that you will actually find in a role-play game. Of course, it's not as clear-cut in Legends as it is in, for example, Oblivion or something. Like, you don't have a slider where you choose how much power your character has in a certain variable. You kind of do that a different way in Legends, but in the end it's pretty much the same result. So by being able to kind of customize the game to your liking this way, like the game experience becomes more personal and you get more involved in the game. And of course, World of Warships Legends has nothing to do with dragons or magic or anything like that, but it does incorporate some of the same customization features, like I said before, and like some of the like the role play game elements like class and race and perks and stuff like that. It's all incorporated in Legends. It's just called something else, and like ultimately building your character and ending up with a like a warrior, a barbarian, a knight, or a rogue, or a thief, or an assassin. It all depends on which ship you play, which commander you choose, and which perks and upgrades you also choose, along with inspirations as well. So if you look at the whole picture, then you're basically building your own personal ship. So like I said, every ship in Legends has like different like numbers for each variable. So for example, torpedoes, AA defense, maneuverability, concealment, yada yada yada, and so on. And you don't manipulate these by simply pressing a plus or minus at the end. You do that, like I said before, by choosing your commanders, inspirations, perks, and upgrades on your ship. So in my opinion, there are 6 main classes in World of Warships Legends, and this is excluding carriers, but I kind of think they fall into the magic class. So you want to call that a wizard or something, or a conjurer, whatever, like, it doesn't matter. So for battleships, I think there's 2 classes, warriors and barbarians, where warriors are usually better armored, and the opposite is the case for barbarians. And cruisers are like the more rogue scoutish build, and then a more damage focused archer build. And for destroyers, there's a thief and an assassin build. So for example, lightning is a thief, like it's stealing caps, and a shimakaze is more of a like a deadly assassin hiding in the dark and wasting you with torpedoes. The great strength about Legends, and probably the reason I think this game is so popular, and also the reason I think it's better than its PC counterpart, is the ability to pretty much customize a ship pretty much the way you want it. But not by actually customizing the ship itself. The ships, they always stay like relatively stable, but the commander system is what you use to tailor the ship to the playstyle that you want. And for example, here we take Prince Eugen as an example. For example, putting Lutyens on or Müller on already puts you down the path to what like kind of character you want that ship to be. And like focusing on sonar and health, I call a scout in this case here. I don't know if that's really the case, but whatever, just bear with me here. And like a more damage focused but still agile build, I call a rogue. And like if you choose Müller instead, then like going sonar and torpedoes, I call knight in this case, more of an up close fighter. And then going reload and like brains and reload boost, I call that an archer build. So just like any RPG, you are completely free to tailor your ship the way you want and to fit the playstyle that you like. And there's no right or wrong answers here. If you like an archer build and you like to like rain HE on the enemy for 15 minutes, that's your prerogative, and you should go for that build. If you're more like me and you prefer to be more up close and a little bit more of a utility vessel, then a scout or rogue build is probably for you. And of course, one day you get tired of being an archer and you want to be a scout instead, you just change your commander, and the ship playstyle is completely different. And it really extends the life of this game here. And of course, adding new commanders and perks all the time, it just creates a never-ending mix of builds and like potential builds. And that is pretty much most of the fun in this game for me. I love to experiment and I love to spend resources on upgrading like quirky commanders to figure out fun ways to use them. And of course, like probably most of you know, I've settled on like, let's call it a rogue build or a scout build for the majority of my cruisers, while most other people probably settle for an archer build on those. And of course that's fine, like whatever you want in this game, that's why it's so good. The way that you like to play, the game will cater for it. So personally, if I had an archer or barbarian or warrior build on every ship in the game, which of course you can do in Skyrim as well, or any RPG, if damage is your thing. Personally, I would find that pretty boring in the long run. And I have run those builds back when I started the game, and I didn't find them that fun. While on the other hand, agile builds are exactly what I like. So please guys, experiment and do something new and interesting with the commanders you have. Like Wargaming gives you all the tools, and I know that they are trying to actively encourage more interesting builds. For example, think back, I think a year and a half ago, when all tier 7 cruisers got 1 second cut off their rudder time. Now that's Wargaming's way of saying, okay, I think you should, like, there's something else you can try here, so at least give it a shot. And again, this system is so much better than on PC, where every ship pretty much only has 1 and like 1.2 viable builds, while in Legends you have so many builds, and yeah, not all of them are viable, but at least every ship can be set up in 3 to 5 different ways, probably even more. And it just helps this game like immensely, I think. So those were my thoughts on how Skyrim and Legends overlap, and I hope you can follow what I mean here. And of course, it's not a one-for-one comparison, they are totally different games, but there are some areas where they share a lot of mechanics. So like I said before, like, don't be afraid to experiment and explore Legends. Like it's a game that's full of customization and actually full of fun new ways to play. So go for it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and I'll see you out there.